to Knowledge is Power Podcast Live. We're here at this. Matter of fact, Knowledge is Power Podcast Live is a platform that that we share important information by educating the Southeast Texas African Americans communities with valuable information on health, education, financial, politics, business, and a whole lot more. I'm going to change the screen around here so we can introduce our guest today. And our guest is Mrs. Lessa Davis. Hello, Lessa.
Hi, how are
I'm
you?
great. I'm great. I'm great. My two co-hosts is out of town today, so I look like I'm doing a solo today. But I can handle it. I can handle it. So
That's
let's get
good.
yeah. Tonight we're going to be talking about financial preparation for marriage, and we was backstage just talking about it, and I was just saying, that is something that we never really get the chance to do or think about when we propose or get engaged, or do we prepare for our financial preparation for our marriage? I mean, marriages can be a short term, it can be long term. It depends on how we do it, and sometimes love just don't make it. And the number one failure in marriage is what? Finances.
Yeah.
You there with me?
I am. I am.
Okay.
It actually, it's about 36% of all divorces are caused by financial problems. Very, very high, 36%. And for whatever reason, we don't like to talk about finances. And I think that is definitely something that we need to take more action to if we want to
Mm-hmm.
continue to have a healthy marriage. Money is a major stress in any relationship, let alone a marriage. And I think if we plan ahead, we can save ourselves from future arguments and hopefully make our married life a whole lot smoother.
We got a little delay in your. I'm getting a little delay. Let's see here. I'll change the screen to see
Let's
if your internet has slowed down.
yeah, let's check this out.
Are we there?
Yes, is that better? Are we still seeing delay, huh?
Yeah, like it freezes up sometimes. But okay, well, let's move on.
So, I think one of the first things that we need to first address is joint financial management. If you in the
Yes.
chat, type out please joint financial management. Um, this is the first step. We know the Bible says that we need to leave our mother and father, but it also says that we need to become one flesh. And in doing so, that means that we need to manage our finances as one. A study from, and I love doing statistics because this also proves my point. Not only do I have personal stories, but this is not just me. But a study by the American Ameriprise Financial found that 68% of couples who manage their finances together reported having a great relationship compared to 50% who kept their finances separate. And so I know, at least with me, I had a huge issue with joining my finances with, at the time, my fiance, because I felt that I managed my money better than he did. And I did not want to join my finances with him. I quickly got a message from God and said, no, you need to combine your finances. Now, how you manage your money as jointly is up to you. I will wholeheartedly tell you I believe in a joint account, not separate accounts,
Mm-hmm.
because joint accounts makes tracking the money much easier,
Mm-hmm.
tracking what's coming in and what's coming out. And I will say that we have now established a more hybrid type of money managing. We now have a joint account and we have a separate account. But again, we started with just a joint account. But as our lives started to evolve, as well as our finances, we created a more hybrid approach where we have a joint account for everything, all our needs, children, house, everything. And then we just have a separate account in which we use for our wants, my hair, my nails, um, going to the gym, all of that. And I think it's crucial that when you come to have this meeting, and I think it's very important that you guys have what I call like a money date,
Mm-hmm.
where you sit and you discuss your financial habits, your debts,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
assets. We have to be transparent. We don't have these money talks. We, even in the Black community, we don't talk about money. It's like it's a privacy thing. And I think
Right.
that is an issue for whatever reason, whether you're afraid of embarrassment because of your lack of money management skills. Maybe you feel like that impedes on your privacy. Um, whatever the reason may be, we have to be transparent because you don't want to be with your soon to be husband or wife and find out a lot of surprises later on. Like I
Right.
kept some secrets from my husband. I didn't tell him my credit score. He didn't realize how bad my credit score was until we started looking for houses. Can
Mm-hmm.
you imagine how that went?
Wow. I know.
It's so I think first things first, we need to have joint management of our finances.
I agree.
I think now we needed to talk, have open communication. We have to talk. There was a recent survey, bankrate.com, I believe it was, found that 2 in 5 Americans keep a financial secret from their partner. That's a lot.
That
So
is a
every
lot.
five
Mm-hmm.
people that you know, two of them have a financial secret that they are keeping. And that was my case. I was not open, I was not honest, and it caused some rifts.
Mm-hmm.
Had I been upfront and forward about it, we could have addressed those things. We could have done things to help increase my credit score so that we could get the house that we wanted sooner. It caught my husband off guard. He was like, "Well, how come we didn't have this discussion before?" Another thing about having an open and honest conversation, too, I think, and we learn the behaviors of our spouse, how they feel about money. This is huge because I was brought up that I need to save for retirement. My husband, on the other hand, doesn't believe in retirement. He thinks he's just going to work for the rest of his life. So there's nothing to save for. That caused a big rift. So, how many of you right now, raise your hand, or hey, raise your hand emoji, have secrets that you have not shared with your spouse, financial secrets? We have to be transparent. It's not healthy at all. Money is can be can be a god for others. It's not healthy for us to keep these secrets. Um, I don't know. What are your financial goals? Have you discussed those financial goals with um your spouse, your partner? If you have not, now is the time before you get married. Like I said, I'm saving. I'm a saver. I want to save. Although my credit score wasn't that great, I was a saver. I had the money for the home, but I didn't have the credit score for the home. I like to travel. My husband likes cars. He would rather spend money on a car where I want to go and travel the world. Like these are things you need to have these discussions on with your money dates.
Mm-hmm.
These money dates don't need you need to have them more than once. Now, my husband and I, we've kind of fallen off. We need to get back into that uh because we're here for to as I think of more of a family as like a business that we have to build this generational wealth. And the Bible clearly says that we are to have generational wealth, that we are to work, we are to leave something for our children.
Children. That's correct.
We are we've created an LLC to help us manage this this family, this family business, in hopes that our children will be able to help manage it as well. We need these money dates. We need to decide, are we going to buy a home? Are we going to live in an apartment? Not everybody wants a home. Are we going to have children? How do we plan for them? Because you know, children are expensive.
Very expensive.
Are we going to travel? It's a lot of things that need to be discussed in those money dates, as I call
Mm-hmm.
them. We have to be transparent. None, and I say that I'm again, I'm hoping that you guys will learn from my experience. That is one thing that I think our community as a whole, we don't do a great job at, is teaching others so that they can learn from our mistakes, so they can learn from our successes. Um, although I was very fortunate to be in a two-parent household, in what I would consider a healthy marriage, my parents in a healthy marriage. Although I saw that, I was not taught this. I was not taught how to combine my finances. I wasn't taught how should we have a joint account? Should we have a separate account? I'm learning this all on my own. And it was difficult because money, for whatever reason, is a subject we do not like to talk about, and we need to have these conversations. We need to figure out what is going to take for us to achieve whatever these goals may be. Again, joint financial management. We are going to manage these finances together. And these money dates are going to help us stay focused and help us stay motivated. Okay, my
Mm-hmm.
credit is not that great. What are we going to do to fix my credit together? And of course, because we are Christians, it doesn't say that we are just going to live this life where we won't have issues. Sometimes I feel like because are Christians, we are prone to a lot more um, than others.
Uh-huh.
The devil is busy.
Yes, he is.
I really think he is out to kill, steal, and destroy the family. And I am doing everything in my that I can to prevent that. And again, this is why it's so important to me, and it's on my heart that we have these discussions about um, preparing yourself. So now that we know we need to have joint financial management, we need to communicate. How do we budget together? And that that is something that you decide in your money management, your money dating. I think you need a budget that you're going to combine your income. You talk about your expenses, your savings, and your investments.
Right.
This also will help us see a bigger picture of how we need to plan for our future. For whatever reason, budget seems to be a cringe and is not the sexiest thing to talk about. Um, but it helps us maintain a balance of our accounts. Um, and it's not just about cutting back, it's about making sure your money works for you, whatever that looks like. Um, Maybe you want to go on a trip to Costa Rica for the summer. Um, Maybe you want to you need to save more for emergencies. What is it now? They're saying instead of 3 months, they want you say you should have 6 months of
Mm-hmm.
living expenses now.
Yes. 6 months
That,
expenses, I think.
that was new for me. I was like, oh, I got my 3 months. Somebody was like, no, not anymore. Um, and we also need to establish emergency funds too. I was shocked when I read that, I don't remember where it was, but I read where that almost 40% of Americans struggle to cover a $400 emergency expense. $400 emergency expense. 40% of American adults cannot afford to cover a $400 emergency expense.
You're right about that, because we don't plan anything. I noticed that when 20 years ago, the goals were financial goals for backup was 3 months your expenses,
Mm,
3 months of your monthly expenses. If your expenses, monthly household expenses was $5,000 a month, you should have $15,000 in the bank just for a layoff. It's like we had COVID, all these different things that can happen. That's not natural. It just can happen. But now I've been told that it's best to have 6 months of of household expense accrued, so that you have 6 months to get a job, 6 months to whatever it takes, but you've got your expenses lined. So, what are you saying to me and to the audience is that we need to plan
mhm.
financially. So, can you help us to understand or know how to how can we start budgeting ourselves so that we can at least save 3 months? Because $400, that's 85% of the people, our community, that doesn't have $400 if anything happened on the emergency.
Mm. So I'll say this, everyone's situation is different,
Yes.
but what a typical budget looks like is 50% of your take home, not your salary, your take home is for your needs, your apartment, your utilities, your car, your insurance, your groceries, your needs in order for you to live day by day. get to work. 30% should go to our wants, hair, nails, um, the barber. And then the last 20% is to be applied to savings and or investments. So if you are spending more than 50% of your take home for needs, it's time for us to reassess. What we're considering is a need. Is it really truly a need? And if it is, that's okay. I think one of the things that we do is we just give up. We feel defeated. We feel like we can't get to a point where we can actually take 20%. If all we can do is take $1, then we take that dollar and we put it in a separate account. Create an account where you have don't have easy access to. For me, I just straight took it from straight from my paycheck, so I wouldn't even see it. So a certain percentage of my check goes directly to an account that I don't have easy access to. So I don't even see it. Because if I see it, if it ends up in my account, I am going to
Spin
use
it.
it. I am. I am. I know myself. And that's a good point. We have to know who we are. We have to know what are our money management behaviors. Do I like to spend? I do. Do I know how to save? Not unless it's directly taken out of my account. But I think first you need to assess yourself, assess to see, am I living above my means? If so, we need to reassess. It's not going to be forever. And I think that's a problem too, at least with some of the younger folks, is that we live in this what I call a microwave generation where we want everything right now.
Mm-hmm.
And we cannot get a savings with that $400
Mm-hmm.
right tomorrow. It just doesn't work. We have
Right.
to be in this for the long run. This is a life is a marathon. And so I think again, we need to look at ourselves, understand our money behaviors, and set up systems. Like for my system, I take the money right out of my paycheck and it goes straight into my account. No if, ands, or buts. And I don't touch it. So 50% take home is for needs only. Needs only.
So you take the other 25% and put as a savings.
So I do 20% savings and then my 30% goes to my wants.
Okay.
Mhm.
So now let's say we have a couple that are engaged, been engaged and plan on marrying. What would be the time to sit down and start discussing their personal finances with each other so there won't be any shock waves once they are married and find out, hey, we don't have this type of money coming in. We My credit is not as good as yours. Uh, it's so much that can happen that could destroy a marriage if we don't understand going in where we are in our finances.
Now, yesterday, I don't think if you know this relationship is a long-term relationship, I I don't think or there's no too early of a time. We talk about other things. We talk about our preferences in the bedroom. We talk about our children. We talk about if we've been married before. We talk about everything else but money. And I really truly think that is one of the first things that you need to discuss, because what is going to end up being your trial run is how you plan to pay for your wedding.
Right.
That is going to be your trial run on what is to come. If you guys are managing the cost of this wedding effectively, I think that's a good outlook. If not, um maybe we need to come back to the money date and figure out, okay, well, we're spending a lot of money on these cocktails and signature drinks, but do we really need to have the open bar, or can we just go ahead and just have a cash bar? So I don't think it's ever too early to discuss your finances.
Wow. Well, the so what happens next? What's the next step?
Well, I think one of the other things that we needs to also be discussed is, and this is uh, a probably a what we consider like a bad word, prenuptial agreements. Now, some of us in our community may not have a whole lot, but we have to understand that um, if a prenup is what you believe is what's needed, um, it's a safety net for everybody. It will help if you have children from someone else outside of your current um, soon to be marriage with another person. You want to leave money to them. Definitely a prenup is a good idea. um, I think we need to be more smart about how we plan, and we need to change our mindset when it comes to prenup agreements. And don't get me wrong, prenups are not for everybody, but for those who are, I think it's definitely something that needs to be talked about. And I also totally believe that if you're able to, that you need to discuss your financial goals and habits with counsel, with a financial planner. it it's amazing what a financial planner can do. Once you have that initial joint management conversation with your spouse, you guys have established your goals, where you want to go, where you want to be. If you have additional questions, or if you feel like you you don't know where to go, I wholeheartedly believe talk to somebody who does. And that's going to be a financial planner. I think with marriage, you can never plan for enough.
Right. I agree.
Life happens all the time. And I think one thing that we don't like to do as a community, we don't like to seek professional advice, whether that be from a mental health standpoint or our finances.
Right.
Because for whatever reason, our community, at least growing up where I'm at, it's been one of those hush hush things. We don't talk about our money. We don't talk about our mental health. We just keep it bottled in and we deal with it. I don't believe that is the route for a successful and a healthy marriage. We have to talk about it. We have to manage our finances as one flesh, as one. And I think once you have established your budget, you continue to have those money talks so that you can assess your progress toward whatever goal it might be. Maybe y'all looking for an investment property. Maybe y'all are, $200 away from, your savings goal. Celebrate that at your money date,
Hmm.
celebrate that you guys did that together. I don't think we don't celebrate each other enough either. But yeah, I mean, you set your budget, and again, as you grow older, it together it's going to evolve because you evolve as a person. What you wanted to save for, I don't know, maybe 3 years ago is maybe not what you want to save for now.
Hmm.
So you got to reassess this budget, reassess these goals. This is continuous. We're gonna be talking about finances until we get called home to be with the Lord.
That's correct. That's absolutely correct. So yeah, the finances in a family is very important. Matter of fact, it's one of the number one uh, topics that we need to stay on topic with because it can it can keep a family together. It can it can fall apart if our finances is not in line. So
Definitely.
so Miss Lisa Davis, it's been a pleasure visiting with you. Can you come back on? Can I invite you back again so we can talk about more other
Yes.
topics?
Yes.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
because Knowledge is Power podcast is for the community. We're educating the community of things that we wasn't taught growing up, or our parents didn't tell us about, or they didn't know. I mean, we can't blame them because they wasn't taught. So
Yeah.
we got to break this generation curse of our finances, uh, our education on marriages, and just not just marriage, but all aspect of life. We've got to educate and be educated about it. So can I invite you back and you accept that invitation? Because I
I
love to have you
certainly
back.
will. I certainly will.
All
I
right. And we're
love
gonna
educating our
we
community.
yeah, we've already exchanged the community. We already exchanged emails, connections. So I love that. It was great talking to you today, and you just made my day. And I hope to see you again. How about that?
Yes. Yes.
All
Thank
right.
you all,
So
and y'all have a
so
very blessed week.
so we're gonna close, but do not leave because I want to speak with you afterwards.
Okay.
And so everybody, we love come back again next Sunday at 7 o'clock at Knowledge is Power Podcast Live. We're here just for you. God bless.
Thank you for watching Knowledge is Power Podcast Live. Be sure to like and subscribe to all Knowledge is Power social media pages.